Hey traders, welcome back to another market update. Today we're going to take a look at the currency market and see what's going on in terms of technical analysis. Let's go ahead and dive in with Euro USD here. You can see we did end up holding this level of support very nicely, actually bouncing off of that zone, but then we very quickly found resistance just at the point that we talked about on the last market update, which was of course this pivotal moment here right around the 1.108 level, we'll say. So what's kind of interesting here is that price is finding rejection there, and the big thing here to me would be now I think that it's possible that if we continue this sell pressure, if we have this strength continue, we could actually make the break that we need to kind of get underneath this supportive level. This failure here very quickly showed that there's a lot of sell pressure still on this market for the time being, and that overall I think that we have the potential to break lower and continue. Now if we get a trend line out, you can also we could also be watching this level here, this kind of downward trend line that we do have, showing that kind of downward strength so far on Euro USD. Unless that shifts, my bias here is probably more bearish than it is bullish, especially if we can break that key level. I think that we could be headed back down towards the recent structure lows here on Euro USD. Next up is GBP USD, and what you can see here is we're back in our wedge formation. We did get a fake out on this move, so we had a move that broke above, looked very bullish, and then on the Brexit news we actually came right back down due to those fundamentals. And for the time being, really my kind of bias here has just kind of gone back to this ranging market environment. In fact, what we could say now is that we kind of have this range where price is just holding this structure here at the 1.2982 level, right? So we'll see what goes on from there. Really not too clear on a direction when it comes to GBP USD right now. It honestly just looks like it wants to range and consolidate for a bit longer. USD JPY here did hold our level very nicely that we pointed out here. This structure of support actually held up very nice as price pushed bullish to the upside. Now at the 109.57 level here at that resistance point that we talked about. If price decides to break to the upside, I think that we could make our way up to that recent structure high. That might be a target for some traders, the 110.26 level. Next up is gold. Let's take a look here at XAU USD. You can see here on the daily chart, still holding that upward trend structure. Looks like we are seeing a little bit of a pullback here on the more recent analysis here, you can see. And it's possible to me that we could see a move back to this trend line to retest that for bullish continuation strength, right? The bulls might be looking for some reassurance at that trend line level there. Next up is Brent crude here, and you can see Brent crude actually did form a low there. We got a little bit lower than we were drawing on our fib, but now the question becomes, we've broken underneath this level. Do we see that concept that we talked about previously, which was a retest of this level and a rollover down to the 50.38 level? I think that that's probably my favorite thing to look at right now when it comes to Brent crude, would be looking for that kind of dead cat bounce looking thing where we just get a slight bounce to a level of resistance and look for the continuation. That'd probably be my favorite personal setup there on Brent crude right now. WTI crude, probably a very similar story. If we zoom in a little bit here, you can see we are already kind of retesting that area here to see if that holds as a resistance point. We are barely underneath it, looking to see if that does in fact become a resistance point at this time. Euro GBP is still kind of the same thing as last time. You can see we have resistance, right? Price broke above. Looks like we want to retest that level. The question will become then, can we make a move next up to this level here? And if so, do we have the strength to continue to push through that level here on Euro Pound? If so, I think a target might be this area here on the 88.0. The 0.8809 level. Next up is going to be dollar Swiss here. Dollar Swiss did put in a low, and we are seeing some bullishness as we did with USD JPY. Big kind of levels to look for in my mind would be, currently we're retesting this area. If we do get bullish here, it might actually be interesting. I think we could see some shorter term movements up towards that 0.9850 level, let's say. Next up is going to be, and our last one is going to be Aussie dollar, which we are keeping an eye on due to the fact that we are trading at all-time lows, or not all-time, but you can see very, very recent or long-term recent lows down here at the 0.6680 level. So as we come down to this level again, this is kind of a recent level. You can see we did get a bounce. We did get some supportive level or some sort of some hold here on Aussie dollar towards the lows. We'll see if that rally can continue. I think that it's looking very bullish for the short term, but that the long-term trend still remains to the downside. So I would be careful looking to get overly bullish on this pair personally. So if we do make a rally, if we do make a move to the upside, then we'll see if we can make a move maybe up to a level like this here on Aussie dollar. With that said, guys, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you got something out of this video. If you did, make sure to like the video down below, and we'll see you guys back next time.